For me on the night train, yeah. Said she's coming for me on the night train. So let it roll, Lord, let it roll, yeah. She's coming home on that track past Jackson to the place where she belongs, yeah. Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo. Well, she headed to Chicago one cold November night, looking for herself, for someone to treat her right. Now she's coming for me on the night train. Looking back, I see the reasons and the seasons and the scars. Wherever you go, baby.
Hi, welcome to Cultural Connections. I'm Nancy Coumoundouros, the Cultural Arts Supervisor for the City of Farmington Hills. We just heard some great music from Delta Twins, and we're lucky enough to be here today on stage with Bob Young. And you're going to talk a little bit about your band and right before the concert, so go ahead, Bob. I'd like to hear about how you got started in music.
Sure. You know, I got the bug as a kid when my Aunt Mary Ann she'd drive her AMC Gremlin and played Beach Boys and the Monkees and things like that back in the 60s. Keener 13.
Oh, I remember that.
You know,
yeah.
CKLW, all that kind of, you know, the great music in the 60s. And when I was 13, I took an English class at school. And the teacher used the lyrics of Simon and Garfunkel's songs to teach us poetry.
Oh.
Alliteration, a winter's day in a deep and dark December, you know, just cadence and meter and, you know, rhyme schemes and everything. And it just sparked something inside of me that I guess had always been there. And I just started writing songs like crazy, but I couldn't play an instrument. In college, I took a semester of music theory, semester of piano, semester of voice all together, and began to find myself.
You were hooked, huh?
Yeah, yeah, and I just kept on from there. I didn't take any more piano lessons, but I took the music theory. I minored in theory and composition, and have continued writing. I usually write several songs a month, sometimes as many as 10 or 15. Just depends. It's crazy.
Wow.
And Tom and I met back in 1998, playing together in a band at a church. And he had grown up in Chicago, and his grandpa had turned him on to, his grandpa played the violin in the basement and gave him his first sip of wine and stuff. And Tom just found he had a knack for that kind of thing. He started playing bass guitar and regular guitar, and then he put it aside for a while. And then when he started going to that church, he started playing in the band there. And then I came along later, and we just kind of, when we met each other, it was like meeting a twin brother that you never knew you had before.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Wow, that's the best way to be. Then you're on stage, you're with your friend, and you're, you know, making music together. It couldn't be any better.
Yeah,
and
other than my wife, he is my best friend on the planet. And,
oh, that's
you know,
that's fantastic.
So it's been a great journey for us.
So you're a local musician. You're right here in Farmington Hills.
Yeah, just right up top of the hill there, a couple blocks away.
Practically walk to the amphitheater.
I could, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we've ridden our bikes over here and brought the kids over for a picnic lunch. You know, back when they had first completed this, when, you know, before it was more like, you know, one of those trucks with the flip-up top.
The showmobile.
Yeah, showmobile.
The lovely showmobile.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And then when they built this, you know, I brought the kids over, and we had a great time one afternoon.
That's great. And it is the perfect location. We're sweating today because it's a little warm, but I know that breeze is going to come in tonight.
It's starting.
It'll be a perfect night. The rain's passing us by for a change, so I'm looking forward to a great concert tonight. And I know that you've wanted to play at the amphitheater for a while.
From the very first day that we came here, we moved here 10 years ago, back in 2002, when we had our fourth child on the way, and brought the kids over to play at the swing set, the playscape over there. And I was just kind of curious. I wandered off and wondered what's over that hill. And I looked down, and it's like, oh, I didn't know this was here.
Yeah.
And that sparked a dream in me back then. I don't know if you remember, but back in 2002, I contacted you.
I do remember, yes, I sure do.
Just like, oh, well, I'd love to do some kind of music festival here. And, you know, and then over the years, we went back and forth, and we've ended up figuring out a few things that would work, like when I helped out with Art on the Grand a couple of years back, and the Longacre House when we had Jill Jack over there, and Delta Twins got to play there. So this is the culmination of a dream that I've had for 10 years.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You know.
Well, it is a perfect spot. I can see why people they call it the mini DTE with the nice bowl and the beautiful setting and the amphitheater. We're always so proud of it.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
This is gorgeous.
Well, tell us a little bit about your music, Bob, like what type of music and why you choose the type of music that you write.
Sure. Yeah, we describe our genre as blues, Americana, rock for the soul. We tell people we sound kind of like Tom Petty meets John Mayer at B.B. King's nightclub to hear Jay Giles' band. Kind of connects all of those things together. There's some heartland rock like Tom Petty. There's some funky pop like John Mayer does. But he also does some old school blues like B.B. King. And yet we've also brought along some of the Jay Giles band, the early era, not the freeze frame centerfold stuff, but more like First I Look at the Purse and Southside Shuffle, Detroit Breakdown, some of the old, we'll be doing some stuff like that tonight that's just really jumping. It's almost R&B meets rockabilly, I tried to make it sound like Jay Giles, but it may come off more like Carl Perkins. I don't know. We'll have to see. But it's the kind of style for us that we feel strikes a broad spectrum of people who would be interested in listening to it. Country music has that benefit. We don't do country, but country music spans age boundaries, racial boundaries, socioeconomic boundaries, but so does the blues. The blues isn't race music, it isn't for young or old. People of all ages enjoy that. And so we wanted to do something that would have a universal appeal, and at the same time that we could then fold in a lot of the lyrics that we have that are a positive spin on the blues. Because the blues isn't about being depressed. The blues is about dealing with hope in the midst of depression. It's more about overcoming. Sometimes you got to wallow in despair before you can see that silver lining. So that's in essence what we do. And the whole idea is to infuse the songs with something that if people thought about it enough, it just might make a difference, a delta in their life. And that's where we got the name, the Delta Twins.
Well, being a local performer, even in your logo, you've got a lot of the symbols that mean something to you, and I think that's what's so cool about having you here performing in Farmington Hills is that you are local and you've got that base. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we try to deal with things artistically, where there's layers of meaning, Our logo, for example, is really two different logos overlaid on top of one another. There's the delta symbol, the triangle, and then there's a Gemini symbol that is the twins part. But both of those are inside a guitar sound hole that has 6 strings going across that's wrapped inside of a white wall tire to symbolize the fact that we're from the Motor City and we're doing music that moves. And I love having that kind of depth of meaning. And I think as people experience our songs, they'll find that they can immediately embrace the music, and then they kind of like the words, and it's kind of funky. And then when they start thinking about the depth of meaning, it's actually, it goes pretty deep. We had one guy at the Crowfoot Club in Pontiac one time. He came up after a concert and he said, "Man, that was great, but it was deep tue. I didn't know whether to slip my wrists or change my ways."
Oh, geez. Well, I hope
I suggested he changed his ways, And, but it really struck him that there's more than just on the surface, And I think any artist tries to do that, I want to make it accessible for people who don't want to go deep. They don't care, They want to have some good, interesting, enjoyable music. But at the same time, for people who do want to go deeper, I want to be able to show that we're artists here. It's not just, a band of guys who plays in a bar, But there's more going on.
Well, Bob, I know that you've been doing a lot musically. That's not your main job, but it's really growing. And tell us a little bit about where you played and what you've done and your CDs and.
Yeah, you know, at this point, all of our CDs have been live recordings. Within the first 9 months of being together, we released a live CD that we recorded in Ferndale at the former AJ's Music Cafe. It's no longer there. Another sign of the times here. And then a year ago, we did one at the Skyline Club in Southfield as a fundraiser for the Lighthouse of Oakland County. It's they do a great work with homeless people, not only as a shelter and feeding the homeless, but also educating and equipping them to be able to get jobs and things. So we were happy to be part of that. Our live albums, basically tonight we're going to be recording. I don't know if we're going to get a live album, but you just never know. So I just always record, always roll tape. But along the way, we've been able to play at some places that have been on my wish list, on my goal list. Trinity House Theater is one of them. We got to open for David Neffish, and then we shared a double bill, and then in February we're going to be actually headlining. So that's a nice change. Dick O'Dow's Pub in Birmingham is a place where a lot of good quality musicians play. Campus Martius Park, we got to play on a Friday afternoon for the city of Detroit, you know, facing the CompuWare building. That was so cool. And coming up this year, we're finally playing Arts, Beats, and Eats. That's another one I can check off the list.
Fantastic.
The Hard Rock Cafe coming up. You know, so if people are interested in finding out more about that, all of it's at our website, deltatwins.com. Our show listing, we have streaming video. Matter of fact, this video, parts of it will probably be up there as well. Streaming audio, and they can download our CDs or order physical copies, actually, if they want to as well. So.
Well, I know we're going to have a lot of fun tonight hearing you here in Heritage Park. What would you like people to take away from your concert? That's the deep question.
Yeah, it is. I would like them to take away the fact that love within their personal life, within their family, within their community will make a difference. I mean, that's my political philosophy. Love wins.
Wow.
And if we learn that, and I'm not talking about just merely giving, okay? I'm talking about the kind of giving that says, you know, I may have the right as an American, but I'm not going to demand my rights. I'm going to be willing to sacrifice something, because in the end, whatever you really want is going to cost you something. You know, you decide what you're going to give up in order to get what you want. And when you look back on your life, the big question is, will it be worth it? You know? So I want to inspire people to consider that. Will it be worth it? Looking back on my life, and how can I turn around and love more effectively? Even if it costs me something, it's okay.
Wow. So using your music as inspiration, I think that is really a wonderful thing.
Yeah, blues, Americana, rock for the soul.
Yes, exactly. Well, it's been wonderful talking with you, Bob. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to the concert. We're going to hear some more music, and they can hear about you on Facebook and Twitter. We have a Facebook page. Okay. Yeah, we do tweet occasionally. We're also on Reverb Nation, pretty much everywhere out there on the net. But really deltatwins.com is really the main place. Okay, you really get around in so many different ways, so that's wonderful. So thanks for sharing your talents with us tonight. Thank you. I'd like to thank everyone else for watching Cultural Connection with us, and we're going to hear some more music. Thank you. Justice with no limits, 'cause love wins. We're all in this together. This global peace endeavor, selfishness will sever, but love wins. I said love, la 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 love, love wins. Sing that with me. Sing love, love, love wins. Come on, you can do it. Come on. Love, love, love wins, yeah. I know that love, love, love wins. Hey, love, love, love wins, yeah. Sing it. Love, love, love wins. Oh, bye-bye. Love, love, love wins, yeah. I said love, sing it, love, love wins. Now snap.
like this. Love, love, love wins, yeah. Sing it out, love.